I think I was 6 years old when I ran for the first time in my first standard, and I won. And from there onwards, every year till 5th standard, sports day hota tha, and I used to run. And I ended up winning a medal every time I ran. Maybe because I was a very hyperactive kid, but I was very competitive too. When I started preparing for Rashmi Rocket, it almost felt like a deja vu. Like I was back at the starting line, looking at the finish line and thinking that yes, I can do it again. Yes, I will do it. My first meeting with my trainers, and I told them, thumb rule, no steroids. I wanted to build my body very naturally in a very real, believable way.
From the very beginning, me and Taapsee were very clear that we don't want to be using any kind of banned substance just for the sake of rapid transformation. All her meals have always been homemade, and all the supplements that I have chosen are completely natural.
बहुत सारे तरीके होते हैं. She was very clear to me on a day one. हम जो भी करेंगे natural तरीके से करेंगे. Whatever we do, we'll do it naturally.
There were a lot of challenges. There are a lot of challenges. Being a female-driven film, there aren't budgets allocated for, at least not as much as you usually get in these kind of sports, big scale films on VFX, on, you do your touch-ups on the body to make the muscles look sharper. We didn't have those budgets, so we decided to make it real and to work on myself. Also, I didn't have the liberty, being a female actor, to sit at home for a year while I build my muscle and get my body ready for the film. I had to do other films simultaneously. So I was shooting for multiple other films while I was everyday training for Rashmi Rocket. So 2 hours of rigorous training, going into a 12 to 14 hour shift of shooting, and then coming back home, sleeping. Big task for every one of us.
Muscle doesn't come over the night. It takes time. It takes good amount of a time, even for a guy. Being a girl, she doesn't have that high testosterone.
So often she has to run, and then again there is a shoot, again there is a retake, taking a minute across, and she gives her best while running, and then again coming across. So it's always a risk of injury which is there, which can happen. The muscle can just strain, there is a sprain which can happen.
Things were going quite smooth and effortlessly nice when I started shooting for Rashmi Rocket. And third day of shoot, I think my body couldn't take it anymore. I just couldn't run anymore. Halfway through my sprint, I stopped. My quads started paining. I couldn't lift my legs. Suddenly, I had to stop the shoot for a while, go into 2 hours of physio to just be able to walk. I think that day was very scary for the entire set. Everyone got worried because it was just third day of shoot and we had the whole film to go. I was scared, honestly. Usually, I feel I can brave up the situation and come up and say, okay, I can handle it. But that moment, I had a question mark in my mind. which was very scary. It was painful. Every time I used to lift my leg, it used to hurt. And that's not how you can shoot an athletic film. My trainers told me it's going to take time, but it will be fine. And honestly, I think at that time my trainers looked more confident than I was, that I will be able to run the same way or even better. So that process took me close to 2 weeks to get to bearable pain when I start sprinting. Suddenly, every time when I used to sit on my starting block, I got scared because I did not know by the time I reached the finish line which muscle will start hurting. It was a very, very weird feeling which I have not experienced before where my body is concerned. So it was very scary for me. Even till date, it's little, that fear is still there, that I don't know if I'll be able to do it without injuring myself, and that's not a good feeling to have. When we started shooting for this film, we did not really have a reference as to किसी और एक्ट्रेस ने किसी और फिल्म में ऐसी कोई बॉडी बनाई है, so we need to up it or we need to achieve it as a benchmark. We only had reference of the real sprinters and how they look. And it really looked, I almost laughed at myself thinking that I really think I can achieve this. And honestly, it was not to prove anything to anyone. It was just to try and see. And I'm glad that we've succeeded to a large extent, because I really want people out there to understand that it is possible. Like for me, for the longest time, people kept telling me that I'm ordinary. I honestly do believe I'm ordinary. But then if this transformation is possible, that means ordinary people are meant to do extraordinary things. So I really hope that with this, people believe that if I can do it, so can they. It is possible.
She shares everything and she pays a very detailed concentration on to what is happening to her body. Not like, okay, she won't tell you what to do. She will ask you rather what has to be done.
I cannot ask more as a coach, as a trainer. I'm proud of her.
So here I am after months of training, ready to run my final race. I don't know if I'll be able to do it convincingly, but I know that I will do it. I will give my best to do it, and I will enjoy every second that I'm going to be on track that day.